Let's start out with some brown clay. This is just the brown clay that's right out of the pack. We don't have to do any mixing. And this is the head and body. So let's mix together some black with this brown color of clay. And this will be used to make the mask on the front of Tom Nook. We can use this knife to cut it into shape. And well, as you guys see there, I had a couple suggestions from you to create this. This is the first video where you guys have suggested the same thing more than once, so I thought it would be a really awesome idea to create it. And I love Animal Crossing. The first video I made was the villager from Animal Crossing. You can check that out on my channel. Here we have Tom Nook's sleepy eyelids. I think he's always up all night counting his money. And now, this is a kind of a new technique I'm trying out, mixing together two colors. Maybe there's a term for this type of blending. It's kind of like a candy corn, so that's for his nose, and we'll be using that method a lot more. Right here, we'll kind of be using it, but a little bit differently. These are going to be the ears. Let's make a dent in there and fill it in with some pink. If you're not sure who Tom Nook is in the Animal Crossing games, he's the guy who gives you your house when you first come to town, and he owns the store in the town. But he's a real scammer. He's always charging you extra money or just always trying to make an extra buck off of you. So he's a real crook, but he's a cool character and everyone knows him if you play the Animal Crossing games. Here we have his stomach. We have this hand pad on his stomach. And again with this mixing technique. So these are the arms. And we're going to have him in this sort of position with his hands on his hips. We're going to need to do some more of this blending for the legs as well. For now, let's take his arms off of there because we need to create the apron. I know Tom Nook has a lot of different looks, he has a lot of different clothing he wears, but in the first game, or maybe all of the games, I'm not quite sure, he's always wearing this apron when you first start the game, when he has his shack for a store. And I think that it's just a cool look. I like it because it's when you first start the game. Anyway, all of these creases we just created are just to add a little bit more detail into it. And let's create this bow tie on the front where he tied the string of his apron. Let's add a ball on top of there. Okay, now we have this symbol using this sort of grayish color. This is, well, the symbol from Animal Crossing. It's a leaf. I'm not really sure what more to tell about that. Now let's use this paper clip for a wire. As I've mentioned before, paper clips work amazing for wires. You don't have to spend money buying this expensive aluminum wire. Just get some paper clips, just get any type of wire you have and it will work just as good. So this is the first character I'm creating a tutorial for that has a base. I don't really like the idea of it too much, but I think for this one it added just a lot of extra detail. And I could add in the money bags if you saw that in the beginning of the video. So here's some wires for Tom Nook to stand on top of. And I almost forgot this part. I don't know how you can forget this on a raccoon, but he's got this big tail. Let's glue that on afterward because it's so heavy it's not going to stay up by itself and I don't want to mess with wires. Here we have the money bag. This money is called bells. I'm not sure what it looks like inside of there. Maybe it is literally bells. It makes a jingling sound when you drop it. But this is the currency that they use in the game. And here we have a star for the front of it. This can be quite troubling to cut out stars. And let's wrap this ribbon around it and do another bow tie at the top, just like on his apron. Let's get everything ready onto the stand, and then we can get it going into the oven. Be careful not to push his body too hard down into it or you'll smash the legs. Let's take another wire for the head. Now let's put the money bag right onto the base, and Tom Nook is ready to get baked. After baking, let's get him off of the tray and use some super glue. Way too much super glue, but we can clean that up in a second. And here it is, Tom Nook.